Well, we spent a lot of time at receivers. I know those positions, running back and receivers, are certainly the most important, but we don't want to skimp on tight end as well. So, Pat, do you have any guys going in that 100 to 150 range that you might trust as your number one tight end?
So I feel like this is cheating because in analyst leagues, we've been trumpeting this guy for a while, but maybe in home leagues, he's not going to go as early as he should. Cole Kmet, just because he didn't finish well with lack of touchdowns, like he has not been much of a touchdown scorer his first 2 years in the league, but he topped 60 receptions and 600 yards last year. And man, like the Bears need pass catchers. It's Darnell Mooney, it's Cole Kmet, and then after that, I mean, I think Equanimous St. Brown is in line to be their wide receiver 2 right now. So would not surprise me if Kmet was like, number 1 or number 2 in this team in targets. And Fields is like, I like Fields as a passer. I mean, I think the offense could be kind of a train wreck overall for Chicago, but there's opportunity here for Kmet to be a high volume guy. So I like him. And then there's a limited ceiling here with Noah Fant, but I think in his first 2 years, he's finished like tight end 8 and tight end 12 with lousy quarterbacks. And yeah, now he's still saddled to Drew Lock, but at least we've seen a floor with him. And, with Fant's like crazy athleticism, like you can make worse bets than betting on a crazy athletic tight end. Even if you don't like the quarterback situation. And he's just fallen so far in drafts that I think he's almost kind of a value now in the tight end 2 range.
Yeah, the one thing I'm a little concerned with is he's been playing pretty deep into the preseason, like second half type of
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah, I don't know what they're doing with him there, if that's
who
just some
knows?
weird Pete Carroll thing, but I know that's not heartening for sure.
No, it's not. It certainly could get ugly if they make it a committee in an already ugly situation. Disley's like listed as this. Who knows? Because it certainly has the athleticism. And that's what JJ Zacharyson and the target I have here mentions one of the key factors to tight end breakouts when he did his study was athleticism is a huge part of it, but also then quarterback play can be a really big part. It actually wasn't as important for breakout receivers as it was tight ends, which makes sense because they get to their third or fourth reads more often. So combining athleticism and nice QB play, I really like Gerald Everett for the Chargers. Donald Parham was a concern of mine because he's a beast at 6'8" and a red zone monster and was having a great camp, but he's been out for weeks now of training camp. So ultimately, this could be just Gerald Everett's role. And they're talking about jet sweeps and screens and all these variety of ways of using him. I know he's going to be below a lot of people on that target totem pole. But ultimately, when the pie is, what I think is going to lead the league in passing, fourth or fifth option will still come into some value and certainly some scores, in my opinion, for Gerald Everett. And that tight end, when you're going this late at 140, 150, what else are you looking for other than touchdowns and a few spike weeks? So I really like Gerald Everett as a potential number 1. And speaking of touchdowns, Pat Fry just finished with a ton of touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, 6th in scores last year. And now Ebron, who was playing 62% of the snaps last year, is gone. He was a rookie as well. We know how hard it can be for rookie tight ends to typically spike. So I like Freiermuth and what he showed last year. Now coming into a sophomore season, maybe we get a jump. I think 10 plus touchdowns with that 6'5" frame are very, very real. So I like him. It is tough because Pickens is also now exploding. And it's like, can you feed Deontay and Pickens and Claypool and Freiermuth? But all those guys around him might open up the middle of the field a little bit. He himself said, I want 800 and 900 yards, which I don't see that happening, but still potentially a guy that could spike in scores. So I like Everett and I like Freiermuth a lot.
Yeah, same here. Freiermuth, well, I like Freiermuth as long as the price stays modest. I think people might pay for the touchdowns last year, and Roethlisberger only seemed to have eyes for Freiermuth in the red zone last year. Who knows if that's going to stay the same? I do like him, but I've got Kmet ranked higher, and if Freiermuth is going before him, then I'd rather just wait that out and take Kmet. But yeah, Everett is an intriguing one for sure. Like, I don't know if I actually think Everett is good, but he is in the right spot for sure. You know what I mean? Like, we've talked about how the AFC West is going to have these like duels every week in their divisional matchups, and there's not all that much competition. Like, I don't know if Parham is ever going to get it all together, and so yeah, there's a definite opportunity there for him to be like a sneaky 6 or 7 touchdown guy.
Definitely. And well, someone that is talented, at least showing in this preseason, is Isaiah Likely. And I think he's a very timely guy to bring up. You had him listed for your guy going after 150. I haven't really seen him get drafted much, but could be really intriguing in this offense. What are you seeing from Likely, and what do you like about him?
Oh man, he's coming on so fast. Well, one is just like he looks like a big wide receiver out there. I mean, he's like I didn't realize he was going to look this fast on the field. I wasn't really as familiar with him coming out of college as I should have been. And man, it's just been exciting to see what this guy can do like after the catch. He just looks like, a guy you don't want to get in front of if you're trying to tackle him. I mean, he's going to run over some defensive backs, and surprisingly quick. Like, just he has some jets after he catches it, man. And like the Ravens, what do they have like after Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews? It's just James Prochet, Devin Duvernay, Tylan Wallace. Like, that's a weak group, and now that they're talking about likely having a pretty significant role and maybe being able to carve out like a 14 or 15% target share in Baltimore, that could be pretty interesting.
Absolutely. I don't know if I've ever handcuffed a tight end either, but if something happened to Andrews as well, he's looking like he could really shoulder the Andrews role. And that's an insanely valuable role in fantasy.
Yes.
They already run some of the most two tight end sets in football. So he's probably, it's kind of like Josh Palmer and KJ Osborne will have some standalone value given all the time he's going to be on the field anyways. But if something ever happened to Andrews, he might be ranked as a top 5 weekly tight end if he's continued to show as well as he has so far at camp. I love that call. He's certainly someone that wasn't on my radar that throughout preseason has definitely jumped up there. Last guy, and not sexy at all, but if you're going real late at tight end and you want something that could be steady, Austin Hooper, we talked about all the vacated opportunity with Robert Woods in the Tennessee Titans. I could see Hooper being the next man up after Robert Woods, certainly if these Traylon Burks struggles continue. He has a good rapport, they're saying, with Ryan Tannehill. They're staying after practice every day. All those reports you love to see. He would always do that with Matt Ryan. And we saw Hooper have some top 5 tight end seasons in his day. I don't know that he hits that ceiling at this point, but as a top 10 guy, potentially, I don't know too many tight ends going in that, certainly going in that range, that have the type of volume upside that he might see. So I don't mind Hooper at all that late.
Yeah, he could get a lot of targets this year. We know Ryan Tannehill isn't going to throw to Derrick Henry very much.
No.
That has never really come to fruition. And as you mentioned earlier in the show, Treylon Burks has kind of struggled to get his footing. So there is target opportunity here, and we're routinely seeing Hooper go like after 20 tight ends are off the board.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments. Check out some more videos. And join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.